It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Christy Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold.
We have been asking you to send us phrases that perhaps your grandpa or grandma might say, or mom or dad, or coworkers, whatever. The old sort of salty kind of
colloquialisms.
Sometimes these bromides. Christy's holding a piece of paper. Have you got a good one?
Well, I think we've all heard this one before. A lady may be wearing some tight clothes. She looks like 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound bag.
Ah, so good.
Oh, yes.
Well, speaking of ladies.
It's a classic.
Working on heavy equipment, struggling to remove a giant stuck bolt, my dad would say, "That's tighter than a tick on a tampon."
Boy.
That is just weird.
Well, you imagine a tick would be attracted to that.
You got to think a tick.
Right. Doesn't want to let go of that until it's
like a takeout.
Got it all, right?
Yikes.
That is just awful.
When I was complaining as a little girl, says Michelle, my dad would say, "Quit beating your gums." Classic.
I've never heard that one.
This one, when referring to a rather malodorous
nice word.
gaseous event, we'll say, my grandfather would say, "You could chase that one for a mile and still have to beat the crap out of it."
Save that.
Wow. Here's one from Kyle. He says, my grandpa used to say, "I hope you don't F like you park, because if you do, you'll never get it in."
I have that on a business card. What? I'm not kidding. Somebody gave me that, like after a show years ago, and said, "Hey, you can use this sometime." And I've been waiting for the perfect time to use it. It's in my car.
No kidding.
And I can just put it under somebody's windshield wiper.
Oh, that's great.
Wait, you saved it? Yes. That's crazy.
It's all wrinkled and stuff because I've moved. It's been with me for like 15 years.
I thought you meant that you were like saving the line so you could say it to a friend. You saved the physical card so you can put it under someone's windshield wiper?
That's right. And I've seen bad parking and I still haven't used it. I'm waiting for the perfect time.
Wouldn't that be great if you were a billionaire one day you just hired a truck and drove around with some kind of a crane and just people who park badly just pick their car up and take it away.
Yes.
Just take it somewhere. Just stop it. This comes to us, Pat Godwin, from Mick in Sarasota.
Hello, Mick.
Mick said, "I saw Pat Saturday night. Awesome show."
Oh, yes.
Fun club.
He says, "I've got a buddy that would say, that's about as, I got to use S for the S word. That's about as worthless as a chimney on an S house." You think about that. Who'd want to have a fire in there?
Yeah. No joke.
I like to be warm while I'm taking
Really?
Well, people say that, I just need a place to sleep and a warm place to take a crap, right?
Okay. This guy writes, "My father would say when someone passed gas, that's just a turd honking for the right-of-way."
I've heard that. Yeah.
I've
never heard that.
Then Mick writes, "My mom would always say, man, she looks like she fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down."
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of a classic. I believe we're going to hook up with a special edition of Sexy Time with Alli Breen.
Oh, really?
Ordinarily, she calls a little bit later in the show. There she is.
She's in New York City.
And looks like she's at home for a change. Alli, can you hear us okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
There we go. We can hear you now. You were
Perfect.
last week. You were in California riding horses.
Yes.
How was it?
It was a lot of fun, and I missed the heat wave in New York, so that was perfect.
Excellent.
But you're back in the city and going through your mail. People can reach you at ALLIBREEN, Alli Breen, on the various social media platforms with their love troubles, and we're here to help. What have you got for starters?
Dear Alli, my girlfriend turns into a different person every time we're around other attractive women. Even if it's a bartender or a waitress, it's like she gets mad at me for talking to them, even when I literally have to. I don't know how to make this stop, but it's impossible to live with. What should I do?
Well, she's insecure.
Yeah, she's got some self-esteem issues for sure. Wow.
She's probably not going to stop. Like, it doesn't.
If you're getting jealous of a waitress coming up to the table who has to be there, that's an issue.
Right.
Yeah, she needs to work on herself. I don't think that's anything he can do.
That's the main thing. But if you don't want to do all that, there are ways to talk to these women and make her feel better at the same time.
Oh, really?
What do you think?
You can talk to these women.
Hey there, Jiggles.
Like,
Okay.
What, are you going to insult the woman after she leaves?
No.
Wow,
no.
for a gorgeous woman, she sure is tall.
No, you can just, when a waitress comes to the table, reach across the table, grab her boob, and talk to the waitress at the same time.
Oh, okay.
But that way you're showing her affection and you're ordering your food at the same time.
Right.
But no, I mean, honestly, you could hold her hand. You just reach out and hold her hand and go, you know what? While looking at the waitress. Just sort of, or when you talk to another woman, put your arm around your girlfriend while talking to her, letting your girlfriend know,
Reassuring
hey.
her.
Yeah.
I'm claimed, and
Right,
make her feel good.
I don't know. I think this is her issue.
No, of course
it's
it is.
definitely
It
an
is.
issue.
But if
For
she's
sure.
not going to be willing to deal with it and you just need a workaround, that's it.
Or every time
Well,
she talks to a guy, just start throwing a fit like she does, and then when she doesn't like it, be like, "Yeah, sucks, doesn't it? Stop."
That's not good.
Well, it might not be. Maybe it's not her issue, and maybe he is doing stuff to these bro. If he's like, "Whoa, hey there, hot stuff," every time a waitress comes up, maybe that is the issue.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
that's
it is
Well,
the
if
issue.
he's acting like that, he's a jerk.
Might
She should
be.
get away anyway.
I'd order an iced tea, but you're so hot, the ice will melt by the time you
Yeah,
get it here.
that's-
Stuff like that.
Well, what if the waitress is carrying hot stuff? And that's what he's referring to. I mean, that's, hey there,
Hey, hot stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
got a
Careful,
plate of
careful,
fajitas.
everybody. It's hot stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. You have to deal with people in the world, and if she's going to get jealous every time.
Yeah. This is her.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to her. Reassure her that she can work on her self-esteem and that you're there to help.
Dear Allie, my fiance and I have been together for over 4 years. I love her so much, but I have a lot more sexual experience than she does because of her Catholic upbringing. When we do make love, it's wonderful, but it's 1 to 3 times a month at most. When she drinks, she loosens up. And I have brought up the idea of sharing her with another guy or sending her off to go have sex with someone else.
Sending her off, chick.
You know, like you would with a dog to train it. When you get a puppy.
Real quick.
Hear this guy out now.
This isn't just her Catholic upbringing. You got a lot of stuff going on, right?
Yeah, this is not a normal situation.
Although
she's scared of you.
1 to 3 times a month does sound less. I would
All
think.
right, first off, every Catholic girl I've ever been with has been way more experienced than I was. Oh, yeah.
I believe
That is a misnomer.
I believe the phrase you use is, "Where did you learn that?" This is creepy.
So he wants to send her off to have somebody teach her how to have sex?
Yes. So
Why
now
not do it
goes
yourself?
on.
Yeah, why doesn't he teach her?
Oh, there's more.
I think he thinks he can only teach her so much, and he wants her to learn different stuff, it sounds like. Because he says, all right, when they talk and she's drunk, she's into it. And then on a sober level, she's disinterested or even bothered by the idea.
Bothered.
Yeah, he needs to
yeah.
just make her an alcoholic. I think that's the solution here.
Oh, this isn't going to work. Yeah, this
know
relationship's doomed. You got to break up with her. It's not her fault. You're just into kinkier, wilder things, and you need a partner like that.
I do like the idea that she's not kind of hot right now, and he's just like a pitcher. He's going to send her to the farm team for a few weeks.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
well,
insane.
wait a minute. Why can't they work on it together?
Yeah, why
can't
would
they...
he want to teach her instead of go off
Yeah.
somewhere else and
He
learn
doesn't sound
it?
like he wants to.
Come back
I
when
mean,
you're ready.
there are so many. You could watch porn together and go, hey, why don't we
Right.
try this? There are many
Right.
things, but you want to send her off.
Or,
A sex camp.
Yeah.
Or you're
Some
just-
dick camp.
you're just putting off the inevitable. You're
they?
gonna break up.
You know,
Camp
I've
Dixon.
never seen
Yeah.
Dick Camp.
Camp Bang Milady. It doesn't make any sense.
Is that a summer camp? Do I get to go for 3 months?
Camp Bang Milady's open year round.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Christy, I'm head counselor.
Are you?
If you know what I mean.
Isn't
All
that
right.
where your vacation
Wow.
part is? Cheddar Bay is.
Yeah, it's near Cheddar Bay where I
okay.
winter.
Man, that's bizarre.
That is.
Oh,
These have
yeah.
been fascinating.
I want to
Yeah,
send
how many
her
people are
off.
engaged and want to watch or hear about their... People don't even like hearing about past sex experiences. Forget about wanting to send them off.
That's amazing.
Maybe he
That's-
wants to be there coaching.
Maybe.
That
Yeah,
may be
I mean,
his
that's a
thing.
whole thing, but
Yeah, but woo.
Send her to missionary
I
school.
can't wait until you do these things to me sometime.
I mean, as
Boy.
soon as you get it down.
Yeah, I mean, keep practicing. You're almost there. Boy.
Come back.
What do you get when you graduate?
Magna cum laude.
Now, sir,
Those
I
trophies are amazing.
know, sir, you're about to service my wife. Why do they call you Wrong Way Johnson?
I've always wondered. Oh, that's why. I see. Honey, are you?
Let's move on. What's our next letter, Allie?
Dear Allie, my boyfriend is great. He's hot and fun and funny, but he's in a band and he has no job. A guy I work with who may or may
Hang
not
on
be
one
my
second.
boss.
Hang on, Christy.
I'm excusing myself.
Christy, you have to be recused.
Go on.
A guy I work with who may or may not be my boss is always asking me out and always telling me he doesn't understand how I'm basically supporting my boyfriend. It's actually starting to get to me that it would feel really nice to be taken care of. Should I try dating more successful people that I might not click with as well, or just stick with my boyfriend and tell him to get a job?
Oh, my goodness.
You can do any of that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like if you're thinking about it, you already made up your mind.
Kinda, yeah. You don't necessarily have to date your boss.
You could just tell him, like, hey, I really like you and we have a lot of fun, but this isn't as fun for me when I have to take care of you. So let's figure out a compromise.
How good are these tunes he's playing?
Right. Because the last thing you want to do is break up with him and then he and the band take off.
Yeah.
That could happen. And especially if they write the new record and it's like, I hope you have fun with your new boss
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Boss,
Yeah, but-
boss
That's for his
sucks,
song.
boss sucks.
Chances of that happening, pretty slim.
You know?
And you don't want to be taken care of. You don't like taking care of him anyway, so.
That boss stinks. Boss, boss, boss.
Never cared for him, your boss.
Oh, my
Wait a
God.
second.
Your girl
Yeah.
Oh, I see your point. You're saying that
Yeah.
this guy may write a song
A
in
breakup
response to
song.
the breakup that makes
Yeah.
him a star.
That's the trouble with artists.
So you're helping him.
If you're going to be
You
in love
heard him,
with an
you help
artist,
him.
you're going to have to take care of him, probably. So that's
I
you
was
got to
going
have
to say
to.
that's the contract.
I mean, that's
the
yeah.
contract when you date a guy in a band. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, how would
It
this
kinda
differ,
is.
Allie, with all of your experience in the world of comedy? How would this differ if that had been the word comedian in there instead of musician?
Oh, God. First of all, no
Wouldn't.
one should ever date a comedian. Yeah.
Sorry, Willie.
Just,
And honestly,
I
I
know.
second it. I don't want to date comics
oh.
anymore. It gets really tricky.
it gets really tricky. They're competitive. They're always talking about comedy. They never have jobs. They never have a free night. It's a nightmare. I assume it's the same as dating a guy in a band.
Yeah, as long as you like to go out
Probably.
on Sundays, you're okay.
Yeah.
How does your boyfriend?
Exactly.
How does your boyfriend like dating you? Does he talk about comedy with you all the time?
No, he has gotten to the point where he hates it, pretty much. He is an anti-comic boyfriend, which is great. He's come to a few shows before, and now he decided
Yeah,
he's
it's-
sitting most of it out.
Sounds like
Perfect.
everything's going great.
Sounds real supportive.
career.
Wow.
Now, do you go to his? He's an actor. He's in TV and stuff. Do you watch his shows with him?
No, we almost never watch his shows. When he's on set, I'll go visit sometimes and eat free craft service. But yeah, that's as much as we do pretty
If
much.
you go visit the Billion set and you don't bring me, we're going to have problems, Alan.
I love it.
I have done that. They're going to be like, there's that weird girl who shows up and eats all the time. I'll bring you next time.
Allie, you don't need to bring me, but if you can get me like Paul Giamatti's kebab stick, that'd be great for me. I could have a lot of fun with that.
This is from Matthew. This guy, he gets it. Matt from Cincinnati. My grandpa used to see a beautiful woman and say, I wouldn't kick her out of the bed for eating crackers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, boy, yeah.
But then Matt says, see, crackers make a lot of crumbs, but she's hot enough to have to deal with it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
And you know me, I do not approve of food in bed.
Yes,
I
we
hate
know.
breakfast in bed. Don't like room service. No, thank you. Like to get out there.
That's about a beautiful woman. This is my grandfather would see an ugly woman and say, I wonder how much she'd charge to haunt a house.
Here's one. This is from Craig. He writes, my dad, I would say, do you want a beer? And he'd say, does Dolly Parton sleep on her back?
Devil.
And this, I love this one. This could be very handy.
Okay.
This could be very handy. If you're out to dinner and this guy says, my dad would say if someone would get a rare steak and he'd go, a good vet could bring that thing back to life.
Kenny's uncle wrote in, and his uncle would say, this guy's nuttier than a porta pot at a peanut festival.
Oh, hey.
Oh, implying that, of course, the peanuts
I've gone through. Yeah,
sure.
The fecal.
This one said, my grandfather would never swear. He'd always say, Godfrey Scissors.
That's my new phrase.
What does that mean?
Godfrey Scissors. Oh, that's great. Dick Hetchwater needs to sit in for Godfrey Scissors.
Yes.
Here's one. When my dad would get mad, he would say, you're irking my tater.
Irking my tater.
Irking my tater.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. And then my grandpa used to say, remember, I've been your age. You've never been mine.
Oh,
Yes.
wise.
That's a wise man.
Kelsey says my dad was talking about cousins at a wedding and said it's like looking through a telescope into a horror film.
Jeez. Here's one. My grandma would say, love is blind. It even flew up a hog's ass. What? These seem disconnected somehow.
Yeah, they do.
But
I love it.
now here's one that's kind of complicated, but I think it's worth the journey. This comes to us from Scott. He writes, I was going to basic training, and the drill sergeants would introduce themselves by saying something unflattering about the recruit in front of them. This one has stuck with me 45 years later. The drill sergeant said, Jesus, man, you're so ugly you could scare a maggot off a honey wagon at 50 yards. Now, by way of explanation, a honey wagon is a mining cart that the miners would do their fecal business in miles underground. You follow me here, Chris?
Yeah, I always heard. Go ahead.
Fecal business.
Yeah, and they will call a honey wagon now the trucks that
They
go around.
clean out the septic systems, yes.
Again, the thing is, you're so ugly you could scare a maggot off a honey wagon. Now, then this guy continues, my last name starts with the letter Z. So by the time they got to me, I figured that the drill sergeant was out of insults.
Sure.
He said, where are you from? I am from South Dakota. He said, I'll have to use the S word. I didn't know they stacked that high in South Dakota.
I love it.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Remember, Greg Warren was at West Point for a little while, our comedian friend, and when you're at attention, you're supposed to look straight forward. And he had a great story of how he was kind of looking around. He was a little shifty-eyed. And the drill sergeant came up behind him and goes, you looking to buy this place, Warren?
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com or listen live with the Bob and Tom app. And be sure to tune in next time for more Bob and Tom Tonight.